Coming into land on Emily's Magic Unicorn. Hello there, how you doing? Everyone sitting comfortably? Well, that's good, I wish I was. So this is the story of Emily's Magic Unicorn. This is book 1 in the Emily and Bill Magic Unicorn series. And this tells how they met. There once was a unicorn. His name, well, it was Bill. He saw a pretty girl one day, out on a daisy-decked hill. "Hello there," said the young girl. "My name is Emily. Forgive me for saying this, but you look, unicorny." "Why, yes, that is what I am," Bill he quickly replied. "See the horn upon my head?" he said with quite some pride. "Where have you ever seen one of these before?" Emily scratched her chin and said, "I really am not sure." "Maybe on a rhino," Emily then excitedly cried. "Again with the rhinos," Bill he softly sighed. "Rhinos, they do have horns, oh yes, of course it's true. But is this something a rhinoceros can do?" First Bill shook his head, and then he shook his tail. Lo, a magic carpet appeared, and into the air they sailed. "Please don't think me rude," said young Emily, "but I'm not that good a flyer, as I think that you can see." Bill turned around and then turned back. Oh, the sight he'd seen. Poor little Emily. She had gone bright green. Comfortingly Bill smiled. "Don't fret," and softly patted her hand. "Seat belts on, everyone," he said. "We're coming into land." They came down onto the ground as gently as could be. "Well, that was fun, I must say," chirped up Emily. "I thought you were afraid," Bill he did inquire. "I wasn't at first," she answered, "only when we went higher." "Do all unicorns fly then?" she asked him curiously. "Not always," responded Bill. "We use a boat at sea." "Are there many of you?" Emily did ask. "There's only one of me," he answered, and at his own joke did laugh. "Oh, you silly thing, you." Emily did giggle, and tickled him behind the ears, which made Bill snort and wriggle. "What I actually meant was, and I think you understand, do you have a family?" "Yes, but in another land. I wanted to explore, you see, so I left home one day, and despite all of my magic, I got lost on my way." Bill looked sadly at the ground, so Emily stroked his head. "We will get you home again," she confidently said. "What can you tell me, sweet Bill, about from where you came? Was it very far away? Does it have a name?" "I just called it home," Bill said with a slump. And then he had a thought, and upward he'd jump. It had a lovely waterfall and fields of blue and gold. Wait, I remember something more that I once was told. My mother said to me one time, "Bill, if you lose your way, find a pretty girl who is upset by your dismay. If her smile is sparkly, and if her voice is nice, say to her, 'Oh, pretty miss, would you please say my name thrice?'" Emily, she breathed in deep, and did as she was bade. "Bill, Bill, Bill," she whispered. There was silence in the glade. Suddenly up in the sky an arrow did appear. It pointed to a far-off place and flashed, "Bill, you live here." Bill turned and said to Emily, "You're the nicest girl I've known. Not only did you make me laugh, you've shown me my way home." "So this is goodbye then?" she answered ruefully. "Not at all," said Bill. "You're coming home for tea." He shook his head and tail to make the carpet reappear. "All aboard," he cried. Emily said, "Please, can I steer?" "Well, no, that's a question. Have you flown a magic carpet before?" "I've flown a kite," replied Emily. "It's just the same, I'm sure." "Off we go then," chuckled Bill, as Emily took the tassels. "There's not much traffic this time of day. We shouldn't have any hassles." Emily put the carpet in first gear and lifted it aloft and crashed into a tree. It was all his fault, she coughed. Are you sure? Inquired Bill. It looked like he was parked. Well, no harm done, said Emily. He can just respray his bark. Up and up they swiftly rose, up and then away. We'll be there in no time, Bill. I was afraid that's what you'd say. Emily flew ever faster, and Bill's bum gave a toot. He grinned, I wished I'd walked home or brought a parachute. Whoa, watch out for that. But too late, Emily heard. And on his head the whole way home, Bill had a nest of birds. Emily flew confidently. Flying seemed to suit her. She said, this sure beats any fun I've had out on my scooter. I must say you're a natural. At Emily she glowed with pride. Now put her in cruise control now. The rest of the way we'll glide. They soon reached the arrow's end and landed in a glade. Bill, why are you shaking? Don't say you were afraid. Oh, not at all, he smiled and nuzzled Emily. But I've been away so long. Will they remember me? Before the words were finished, his answer reached his ears. It's Bill, my son is home, said a mother's voice through tears. Bill turned on his hoofs and raced up to her side. They kissed and hugged each other. As rainbow tears they cried. Emily she turned away so they could have some privacy. But Bill's mother's soft voice called out, this girl brought my son home to me. From out of the woods then 100 unicorns appeared. They made a circle around Emily and bowed their horns and cheered. How can I ever repay you? Bill's grateful mummy asked. And won't you stay for dinner? We've got some lovely grass. Emily gave her biggest grin and said, please be assured, the smiles of happiness I see are the best reward. The unicorns cried, she's the best, and lifted her aloft and gave her a dress made from unicorn hair that was shimmery and soft. They all spent the next 4 hours partying and dancing. Emily did all the songs because, well, unicorns just can't sing. And then there came the words that made everybody grieve. I really want to stay forever, but I've got to leave. The unicorns were all so sad, but understood that it had to be. Bill knew better than anyone about missing your family. Will we ever meet again? He asked his newfound friend. I've had the best time ever with you. I don't want it to end. I'd love to come and visit, Bill. I'd love to see you every day. But how could it be, though? I live so far away. That's no worry, said Bill's mother. I know just what to do. She shook her magic horn and said, here, this is just for you. Now there is no distance between here and your home. Emily, please, accept from me a magic carpet of your own. Emily was open-mouthed at such generosity. She gave Bill's mum the biggest hug anyone did ever see. So now when she comes home from school and all her homework's done, Emily takes her magic carpet out and zips away to Bill's for fun. Sometimes he will meet her on his own carpet in the sky. Race you back to my place, he'll say, and away they both do fly. Of course, Emily almost always wins. She rides the skies with ease. The only time that Bill comes first is if there are some trees. The end of that particular book. So that's Emily and Bill, book 1. That's how they met each other. And in the back of the book there's a little add-on poem for my children, but of course it's for every parent to say to their children. Emily and Dylan. If magic wishes come my way, 1,000 maybe 2, every wish I'd make would be to spend more time with you. Thank you for sparing the time to listen to me recite Emily's Magic Unicorn. This is a lovely rainbow that my beautiful children drew. And there's a unicorn. And with some lovely flowers and the words love all over the place. Sorry, I'm getting too sentimental here. Time to close down.